If you ever wondered how games back before the 360 would have been like with achievements, or just like the idea of having achievements for old games that will most likely never get them, like most of Nintendo's games, and Retro Achievements might interest you. Retro Achievements are an addition to the program RetroArch, which in brief allows you to play your old classic games in one convenient place. Retro Achievements is actually a website, just retroachievements.org. It's essentially a leaderboard and database for keeping track of achievements for a variety of games, and works very similarly to how Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network achievement profiles work. To be able to use Retro Achievements, you do have to have an account set up, and once you do, the only thing you'll need to do after that is enable them in RetroArch's settings. You can customize how they appear and have it notify you by only having them show up on the screen, or having them show up with on the screen but with no sound, or having them just play a sound when an achievement pops up, or having their icons just pop up, among other things you can see in the new settings. And have RetroArch take a screenshot, similarly to how the PS4 there's an option to screenshot what you're doing in the game when you get an achievement. There's even a hardcore option that doubles the points you earn when you get an achievement. When you put the hardcore option on, it disables emulator features such as quick saves and fast forwarding. One cool feature I like is the leaderboard feature. This essentially acts as a challenge, like a time trial or a unique condition for a game you're playing, that records your time or score and submits it to a leaderboard on the website. An example would be in Super Mario 64, there's a leaderboard challenge that records how many stars you can get when you start a new game without taking any damage. Or in Tomb Raider, I'm assuming it's in Tomb Raider, all the Tomb Raider games, because I tested them in Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2 do this, but every time you start a level, it records your time to see how long it takes for you to beat a level without quitting the game, and submits the time to the game's leaderboard. I don't know if all or some of these are updated frequently, like a weekly challenge thing, but I feel they add a lot of replay value to a game, especially if you're into those types of challenges. Just like Xbox Live and PSN, you can have friends and you can compare achievements for other profiles. And that goes into the leaderboard thing. On leaderboards, you can compare your times or scores with other players who have also done sign up with Retro Achievements, have played the game. So I think that's really neat. Another thing I like about Retro Achievements are that they're made by the community, meaning that yes, even you can have an influence on how a game's achievements are handled, as this keeps achievements for games reasonable and not entirely impossible. A downside to this though is that a game you like might not even have achievements or an achievement list yet, since nobody has created one for it yet. With that said though, there's always a chance someone comes along and does just that, and that someone could even be you. I would also like to add that new achievements are always being created, so the last I saw were achievements for even PSP games, so it's getting up there. So one day we might even get to GameCube games. Retro Achievements has a guide and resources for those interested in making their own achievements for games and implementing them on their website. So if you're interested, there are resources out there for you. Really, Retro Achievements are a pretty simple concept to understand once you know how it works and how it's integrated with RetroArch. For the best experience though, I only recommend that you only use one device for this functionality, specifically one that's able to connect to the internet, as that's how the system makes sure there's as little cheating as possible and how the achievements register to your profile, which I know could be a downside. Another reason I say it's best just to use one device is that unless you're willing to keep track of the individual games you played on each different device, you have RetroArch on, and which of those had Retro Achievements on, or you logged into Retro Achievements on, it can get pretty easy to lose what games you played and got achievements for. That, and unless you're actively backing up and restoring saves from your games, making progress could be slow. As in, if you start on one device, like say you're playing Super Mario World on one device that has Retro Achievements, and then you go to another one, unless you know how to transfer saves and want to log in again, you're just gonna have to replay the game again. So that could be a problem. Another thing I want to mention is that if you're using more than one device, it can be real tedious to sign in each time, since, at least for me, I keep getting logged out frequently after coming back to a device after using another one for a while. I want to mention that since Retro Achievements goes by the RetroArch database, not a lot of ROM hacks are compatible, but there's surprisingly achievements for some of them, specifically the popular ones. So keep that in mind when importing your ROMs to RetroArch or playing them through RetroArch. I'm not going to go over all the details on that front, as that's kind of out of the scope of this video, but if you would like to know more about that, or just more about RetroArch in general and how to set it up, Let me know down in the comments. But there are plenty of videos out there talking about it and getting it set up, but I can make one if you really want me to. Just for advice in general for RetroArch, if you want to make it look nice, just make sure your ROMs are named correctly and that they're from a good source. I really think retro achievements are a neat idea, as they're optional and give older games you play new parameters and challenges that encourage you to complete a game a certain way and be rewarded with digital gamer cred. Which, yeah, could be seen as pointless, but it's a nice way to just go look and say, yeah, I completed this game, or see how dedicated you are to a game. There's a lot of reasons why people like achievements. I'm not super hardcore into them, but it's more of a why not. As of now, games from Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 1, and Dreamcast era mostly all have achievements, or games you would think of. They more than likely have achievements. As more devices are able to run emulators like Dolphin, PCSX2, etc., then I would expect there to be more achievements created for those games. As right now, even if you can run Dolphin through RetroArch, like on your PC, there are no achievements for a game like Super Mario Sunshine. But like I said earlier, new games are getting achievements all the time. The most recent one I've seen is PSP game. Like I said, when more devices get up there, more achievements will be available for those types of systems. So as more time passes, the more achievements there will be. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. This stuff right now, if I say it's just stuff be off the top of my head, but it's just a cool idea because you know, as we get further into gaming, if you haven't already noticed, it's getting a lot harder to play classic games. And you can't really play, like, even though you can play Super Mario World on the Nintendo Switch, they don't have achievements. And really, I think you're better off playing it on RetroArch anyways. With all the emulators they provide, you get a better experience anyways. So, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I just see it as a new avenue for this is me rambling, but I just see it as a, like, the continuation of what the 360 and PS3 were doing. Because when they re-released classic games, they added achievements. Even Sony tried to add achievements to their old games when they offered them on their service. Like, I know that for PS4, they still, like, they did the PS2 classics and they gave them achievements. So, but they seemingly stopped. So, in time, you know, in the future, whether it be near or far, we'll get some achievements for PS2 games, and I'll just breathe new life into these games, in my opinion. Give you just another reason to go replay them or play them a different way. I just see it more of a, it's not even a negative, like, really, it's just more of a net positive for everything, for retro gaming as a whole, I guess. So yeah, that's my video. If you liked it, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Like the video, I guess subscribe if you like this content, because I do plan to make some more videos on more topics. And if you watched all the way, thank you for listening. But I really want to know what you think in the comments. And yeah, and that's all. Bye bye.